I guess can we go back a little bit to December? I never got the full story as to what happened there. Can you kind of share what happened?
Yeah, I'm not pregnant. That was what I had heard when I got back from watching my movie and eating my barbecue, and my fight got canceled. Texas requires, because I'm over the age of 36, that I do an EEG, and the EEG results came back with something that the commission didn't like and that the doctors wouldn't sign off on. So my fight got canceled. I tried to say, listen, can we get another test done? And they said, no, that's doctor shopping. You know, I don't know, if I was told I had breast cancer and I wanted a second opinion, I'm pretty sure they'd give it to me. So they're telling me there's something wrong with my brain. I'm like, no, let's get a second opinion, and they wouldn't let me.
So what's been the follow-up since then? I mean, I'm assuming you went and got a second opinion.
I did. You know what? I went home to my family doctor and I said, listen, just skip the other EEG altogether. Get me in for an MRI. Let's put the rumors to rest that there's something wrong with me. And here I am in California now, who, by the way, required me to have an MRI. So if you've seen on the Invicta site, it says everything happens for a reason. And I mean, I really think that happened so that I would have this MRI ready for this fight.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Now you're here for obviously a big fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk about this opportunity. What this fight means to you.
You know, I did another interview where I said it. You know, the chances of sounding really cheesy and cliche. It means everything. It's everything I've worked towards. You know, all the sacrifices I've put in with my family. Is like we don't do a lot of family vacations because I use all my vacation time to come here and fight. So you know, it kind of lends a legitimacy to every sacrifice that I've made.
What's this feel like? I mean, I haven't been in all the Invicta events, but I'm assuming this is probably a larger media contingent than normal?
Yeah, this is new. You guys are all new. Never had to do that before. I'm like, what do I do in an open workout? Like, not going to do this stuff I really super do. So, yeah, this is, when I was presented with this opportunity, I said, you know what, we can't let this go. We had expected a fight with her later in the year. And we're anticipating that, so when this came to the table, I was like, already? Well, yeah, we have to do this one. We have to take this fight for this exposure, and here we are.
Can you talk a little bit about Chris?
I'm like, Chris, is that Chris?
No. Yeah.
Thank you, by the way, for calling her Chris. We've chosen not to call her by her nickname because this humanizes her more. So, you know, I mean, we've all seen her fight. She's strong. She likes to punch. My background is is Thai boxing. But, you know, apparently I'm a jiu-jitsu fighter because most of my wins have come via submission. So I've actually been waiting for somebody who wants to really stand up with me. I mean, I had that in Veronica, but that takedown just happened and we ended up on the ground. So yeah, like, here's someone who's actually going to stand and bang with me. Careful what you wish for, I guess, huh?
What do you think about her technique? I mean, a lot of her game, it seems like, it's always been kind of like intimidation, physically stronger than her opponent. I don't think she's going to have that luxury with you. So what do you think when you break down the actual technique that she has?
Yeah, it's very, gosh, I'm trying to be so Canadian here and polite, right? I don't see a whole lot of actual technique. There's not a lot of straight punches. It's very, very wide and barraging. Like my one coach says she's really good at stalking. Like she's good at chasing you down. So yeah, that's one technique she's really good at. And she seems to be pretty good at that body lock takedown. So go for it. I like the ground.
It seems like she's kind of fighting it as an opportunity to get to Ronda. Is 135 even a possibility? Is this something? I mean, do you think about that at all?
You know, we've put teasers out there that I would fight at 135, but I don't know if anybody saw my last fight in Invicta, the one that actually happened. I had this big speech about cutting weight and fighting closer to your natural weight class, and 155 really is my natural weight class. There's a lot of opportunities for me at 145. I don't know if this frame could handle 135. Like, I don't like looking like Skeletor on weigh-in day. And you know, just the health concerns that comes with doing that to yourself, I'm not really big on that, so.
Probably not big.
How tough is it for you to make 145?
145 is fairly easy, especially with these 155 fights I've been doing, because I find with the weight cut, coming from what I was walking around at, which was like 170, going to 145, it was like diet, run to drop. And then as soon as it was done, it was like, okay, God, I don't need to do that anymore. So it would come back up. But now, having fought closer to my natural weight for a few times, that roller coaster is done. I'm walking around at a much lighter weight. So 145 is actually pretty easy.
I heard a little emotion from over my shoulder here. Is there a little chip on the shoulder that you're being brought in as, Chris's opponent, so to speak?
More so that, she's talking about the UFC already, where, you have a fight here in front of you, and, I'm sure she is focusing on that in the gym. I would hope, anyways. If she's not, well, too bad for you, sort of thing. So yeah, there's a little bit of animosity there. and you mentioned the name Rhonda, and I usually growl, so.
Not a fan?
No, not overly. She's done a lot for female MMA, obviously, but we have a bit of a history, her and I. I remember someone told me that they read an interview she did talking about who she didn't get along with, which one of her opponents, and there was only two. I mean, obviously there was Misha Tate, and I guess the other one was me, so.
Were there talks of you guys fighting when she was a 45er or anything?
We did fight.
Oh, I'm sorry, you did fight?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We fought at 147, because I wasn't sure at that time. I was coming off of my Thai boxing career. Wasn't really sure I could make the 145 cut, so we fought at a catch weight at 147. That was back when she would still do that. And yeah, I mean, obviously, we all know how that ended up. There's no L on her record, so.
So is your animosity though just the result of the fight, or just the frustration?
No,
you just don't like the way she represents the sport, or?
That, and we had a bit of an issue before our fight. That was back when Gina was slated to come back to Strikeforce and couldn't get medical clearance. The fight was the night after our fight, so Strikeforce went knocking on her door and said, listen, can you come fight for us? And she was already in a contract with me. My organization that I was fighting for came to me and said, do you want to let her out of the contract? And I went, no. That's why we sign a contract. We sign them for a reason, so that if a better offer comes along, you don't just jump out of it and take that better offer. And yeah, things got a little heated when I wouldn't let her out. So that is where the animosity comes from.
Well, I guess when you close your eyes and envision this fight, I'm sure you play. How do you see this fight? What's your prediction? How's this thing going to play out?
I walk out with the belt over my head. That's all I'm going to say.